G'day ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome to, well, a bit of an interesting video today, something a little bit different to what I normally do. This is actually a video I've been wanting to do for a while. I've had a few comments in the past and occasionally get emails and messages from people via Facebook and wherever else, asking me how I do so well all the time. They watch my videos, they see how I perform in those videos, and some have even said it makes them a little uncomfortable watching it, knowing that they have trouble pulling off those sort of matches, and yet I seem to never have a bad day. This is entirely incorrect. I've never once said that I don't have bad days when I'm playing War Thunder. It happens to everybody. Everybody has bad days. If you find one person in War Thunder who turns around and says, "I never have a bad day when I'm flying," I will show you a liar. Sometimes everything you touch just turns to shit, and in the case of most players, you'd just go off and play another game. It's obviously not working for you, so you'd play something else. In the case of YouTubers, we sort of have to push on sometime, especially if we're trying to get recordings for something as well. Now, when YouTubers are organised, we generally have a way out when it comes to our content. When we have a good day, we might record 3, 4, 5, 6 battles in a single day that are particularly good battles and are worth showing on the channel. But in a case like my channel, I usually put 2 battles into a video, and I show a video every 3 days. So if I have 3 good days in a row, I've actually got videos saved for nearly a month's worth of content. So if I happen to have a bad day, I can bypass it by showing previously recorded and saved footage. This isn't what I'm going to do today. Today I am going to show you what a particularly bad day as Mags can look like. So I was trying to record some footage for the Tiger 2 for a first impressions. You can take this video as my first impressions if you like. An IS-3 that close, that was never going down well. Gotta love that shot trap, don't you? Now this one was a good one. Now this is a flat gun. Now, I line it up, this is an 88mm gun on the Tiger, fire the shot, it ricochets off the left-hand side barrel on the flat gun. The second gun on the flat gun works perfectly fine, penetrates the side of the tank, destroys my turret ring, and kills my driver so I can't move, allowing an M46 Patton to just drive around and put one lazily into the side of the turret. Look at the shrapnel from this shot. Angled against a Walker Bulldog. Will it make a difference? Nope. So I've got a target to my left and rear, but it's behind dirt and a rock formation, so I can't get beads on me. I've got an SU-122P here, and that is one of the first penetrating shots I've managed to have in this thing all day. Every other time I've fired on a target so far, it's bounced, so I'm very happy at this point. I'm going to push up, and then I take a shot from the rear. Now what's just happened is the target to my left and rear has actually just driven out of cover in front of the entirety of my team, and none of them have done anything. They haven't shot it, they haven't aimed at it, they've done nothing. So it's just gotten 2 free shots into the back of the tank. Shooting the back of the tank has, of course, disabled the barrel, the turret drive, killed the gunner, killed the loader, so I'm sort of stuck here at the moment. I'm trying to ram the 122, but it doesn't matter because there's an M47 Patton 2 that just finishes me off. Okay, so clearly tanks isn't working for me today. How about I record a couple of air battles? We'll take out the new cannon Camber and have a look. I have yet to do my first impressions on it. I've only done what I've done from the test server and my testing since then. A few things have changed since the last time I looked at this plane. They appear to have made some modifications to the flight model. Now it feels less like an Imperial starfighter and more like what I would expect. It's still manoeuvrable, but it now feels weighty like a 10-ton aircraft should. Also, there's now a bomb load available to it in stock format. It gets 500 pounders. It's not enough to take out a base, but it means straight on your first fly out, as this is, you can go and tactical bomb things like the bridges, which is quite nice. It's also had its battle rating adjusted to 8, which is excellent as well. This means it is not going to be clubbing anything. It will have to be flown intelligently like a jet bomber should. It will require cover from fighters. It will be able to defend itself if it needs to, but that defense will only be good enough to buy time as a general rule while the fighters are coming in to give you assistance. So far, everything is looking actually quite good with it. Now, I decided I was going to try and have a crack at this MiG-15. He's going particularly slow. I'm not entirely sure why. He did just have a crack at a camber. I thought he might have been damaged. He's definitely heading towards his runway. I'm closing distance on him quite nicely. It'll be nice to get a MiG-15 kill in my first battle in this plane, but I do have a red dot on the radar behind me. There appears to be a CL approaching. Okay, I know a camber is a nice fat juicy target, but why the hell did a CL come from all the way over there where it was engaged with multiple enemy fighters that it needs to destroy and come all the way down here to shoot me down? Ah, that's why. Now, to be fair, he was probably just joking around a little bit there and spotted me and thought he'd come in for the kill, which is fair enough. You know, I found it slightly amusing at the time. What I didn't find amusing was that 10 battles later, flying Japanese jets, the same shit was happening. Now, I was trying to re-record all my battles for the R2Y2 video, because I managed to get all those done, but then Gaijin went and patched the game and changed the matchmaker around a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get those recordings done today. You know what? I'm a sucker for punishment. Let's get back in the Tiger 2. Haha! Have you now? Or not. Yeah, pretty much any HE shell above 100mm to any location on the turret at any angle on the Tiger 2 will one-shot the tank. Once again, I decide to trust my team to keep my rear clear. Well, at least I managed to kill one that time. Now, at this point I was starting to get really angry. This has been my entire day so far. Now shit starts getting weird. So, one shot by an SU-152, yeah, no big surprises there. We've seen plenty of that so far, and where did it go? So this time shot by a T-44, a T-44 that I was actively looking for. Hits me in the side, blows the ammo racks, and one-shots me. Yep, okay, fair enough. Where's the T-44? Well, it's sitting right there in the middle of that bridge. It just hasn't rendered yet. So after all that, time for the best and only good match that I had for the entire day. Now this is the M22 Locust. This is a, I think it's 3.3 little light American scout tank. It's tiny and insanely fast. I pretty much skipped it and went further down the line on my chase for the Walker Bulldog because I'd heard some incredibly bad things about it. That it was just an atrocious tank. It is only armed with a 37mm, but you know what? I'm going to take it out and at least have some fun. Now we're in sim mode and this thing drifts like it's in arcade. This thing is insanely quick. It also really doesn't give a rat's ass about slopes. Now, is that a 45-degree slope? Yep, I'm just going to drive up it anyway. It doesn't care. I was finding it rather amusing at the time that in order to find a way of enjoying War Thunder ground forces on this particular day, I just had to stop playing Germany. That was really all I had to do. The second I started playing other tanks, I had a good time. Now this is the first time that I've ever driven the Locust, so I'm just experimenting with its ability to climb, and climb it can. I'm up on the hidden ridge line on the left hand side of the map. Now this is, well, it's technically off the map. This doesn't appear on your little map on the bottom right hand side. You just show as being slightly off. As you can see, my arrows disappeared. Now the reason why I've climbed up here, not many people realise you can get up here. You can get up from both the north and south spawns on this side of the map if you know the places to drive up. And I'm up here because there is a spotted Panzer or a spotted enemy tank up here at the time. Trying to get shots up on this ridge is a pain when there's somebody up here that's shooting down at you. They have all the advantages of shots. So I'm trying to sneak in behind him. The best part about it up here is, though, people have a tendency to... oh, tunnel vision is the best way to put it. Nobody ever expects that somebody's going to get up here with them. That should disable his tank's gun. Now this standard shell only has something like 30 or 40 millimeters of penetration, so I'm actually not going to be able to punch straight through the top deck from this angle. So I'm going to move down there with him. I've disabled his gun, I've disabled his turret drive. He's effectively dead in the water at the moment. I've just got to get a good penetrating shot to actually execute. One in the back, and ricochet across the engines, but no critical. There we go, that's what I'm after. Now the American-Russian team has managed to steamroll the German team and push them all back into their own spawn points, and there's a shootout currently happening on the map with a couple of tanks that are in the top left-hand spawn point for the enemy team. They're not able to progress because they've got to drive uphill over open ground to get up, and they're just going to get pulled apart if they try. Just having a look to make sure there's nothing else floating around. Looks fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around this ridge line and climb right down the back top left hand corner of the map, and then go up over the ridge line that leads onto the back of their spawn point and attack them from behind. Just a word of warning, if you suffer from motion sickness from games, I don't recommend you drive this tank. Really don't. It's even fully upgraded, which mine now is. This thing is all over the place all the time. It twists sideways at the slightest bump. You hit the smallest little stone on the ground and the thing tries to stand up on the very back rollers for its treads. It's got some issues in its physics. Now I knew it was possible to get into this section, but I've never actually been in here before, so I'm just trying to work out exactly what point on this back ridge I can use to climb into their cap. It looks like the two first ones are a little bit too steep, the two clear points away from the stones. However, this third one here looks just right. I'll go up, and it should give me a commanding firing position straight into their spawn from behind. I just hope there's somebody still there. And yep, there is. We have a target. Let's get into position. He hasn't realised I'm there yet. Martyr 3. One through the back, cripple the engine block. One into the side, execute the tank. And that's pretty much it. There's nobody else left in the spawn, so I'm going to head for the cap. That's the likely place. The only enemy tank that we know the location of is in that location. There's only actually 2 enemy tanks remaining, so it's likely the other one is up there somewhere trying to stop the cap as well, because at this point it's the only way the Germans are going to win. If I want the fight, I'm going to have to get there as fast as I can. Luckily, the Locust does fast very, very, very well. Another thing I have to say about this tank, I couldn't help but smile when I heard the sound effects for the engine. It annoys me a little bit that when you stop the tank, there's no idle effect. The tank just goes dead quiet and stops making noise, which it shouldn't. There's a rumbling V8 inside of this thing somewhere. But the engine sounds, when you first give it some stick and start getting it off the line, the big double rev up and the engine sound for it as it's backing off, it sounds magic. It felt like I was driving a hot rod. It's just great. It looks like the last of the enemy team has been eliminated, so now I'm just trying to make it into the cap before the match ends. There we go, hostile team has lost all of its vehicles. I just want to get into the cap zone, pull on the handbrake, and drift to a stop. Got to finish in style. So, best match for the day, 12th place, 2 kills. Doesn't matter, this thing was a lot of fun to drive, and it was a relief to have a good time at the end of the match. Unlocked the tracks in the first battle, so that's always nice. Got a few extra upgrades as well, so I'll take those. Repair parts will be very useful, and I've got to pick up the fire extinguisher parts, although I decided to divert off and grab the M51 shot, because that gives it 63mm of penetration on its gun, which it really needs. And that was actually a breakdown of the whole day, because it was at this point that I decided to call it. I had a good time and I had a good match in this thing. It was fun. Best to give it up now, otherwise I'm going to wind up pulling my hair out. So yes, I have bad days too, and when I do, they generally really atrocious. Until next time, drive smart, drive safe, and I'll catch you on the battlefield.